Imagine this. After 4 decades of grueling shifts in the operating room, saving countless lives while putting your own dreams on hold, you finally buy the perfect retirement haven, a stunning mountain cabin tucked away in the heart of the Colorado Rockies. It's everything you've ever wanted. A handcrafted log home sitting high on a ridge, surrounded by endless pine forests that stretch out like a green sea, with snow-capped peaks towering in the distance and a crystal clear alpine lake shimmering below like a hidden gem. Mornings filled with the soft chirp of birds, quiet hikes through crisp air that smells of fresh earth and evergreen. Afternoons casting a line for trout in the stream, and evenings curled up by a massive stone fireplace with a good book, the flames dancing shadows across the walls. Or just sitting on the wraparound deck with a steaming cup of coffee, watching the sunrise turn the mountains into a canvas of gold and pink, feeling that deep, hard-earned peace settle into your bones. But then, out of nowhere, your stepdaughter hears about it and decides it's her playground. She calls you up, no warning, no politeness, just pure entitlement dripping from every word. "We're on our way, Dad. 12 of us, me, Mike, the kids, my yoga buddies. We'll crash for 2 weeks. Get the beds made, towels out, food stocked, firewood chopped, everything. We're about an hour out, so get moving." Her arrogance crashes over you like a sudden blizzard, chilling that warmth you've just started to embrace. But you stay calm, a quiet smile forming as you begin to weave a plan that will flip the script and reclaim what's rightfully yours. If you've ever felt the sting of being taken for granted by family, of pouring your heart and savings into people who only see you as a free ride, then this story is going to hit home hard. It's a tale of betrayal, boundaries, and the sweetest kind of justice served cold on a mountaintop. Stick around because by the end, you'll be cheering for the underdog who finally stands his ground. And if this fires you up, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real-life revenge stories that deliver that satisfying punch. And drop a comment below. Have you ever had to draw the line with entitled relatives? Let's hear it. Now, let's dive into this epic payback. Picture the scene. The sun is high in a flawless blue sky, filtering through the tall pines and casting dappled light across the cabin's rugged log exterior. You've just arrived a few days ago. The deed's still fresh in your hands, the ink barely dry. Boxes are scattered around, half unpacked, filled with the little treasures you've collected over the years. Books on fly fishing, old surgical texts that remind you of battles won in the ore, a few framed photos of better times. The air inside is rich with the scent of fresh-cut wood and that unmistakable mountain freshness, cool and invigorating. You step into the great room, where floor-to-ceiling windows frame a view that stops you in your tracks every time. Aspens quivering in the gentle breeze, a distant meadow where elk might graze at dusk, and that sapphire lake far below, its surface rippling like it's alive. You're in the middle of unpacking your fishing rods, laying them out carefully on the hand-hewn pine table, imagining the quiet afternoons ahead by the water's edge. The great room feels like the heart of the home, a massive stone fireplace dominating one wall, ready for those cozy nights when the temperature drops and the stars come out in force. Sunlight streams in, warming the plank floors you've chosen yourself, the ones that creak just right underfoot. It's your sanctuary, built from 42 years of sacrifice, early mornings in the hospital, late nights on call, holidays missed with loved ones because someone else's life was on the line. You raised your stepdaughter Sarah after her mother passed too young, pouring everything into her: love, guidance, and yes, money. But now, this is your time. Then the phone buzzes, slicing through the peaceful silence like a scalpel. You pick it up, expecting maybe a congratulations from an old colleague. But instead, it's Sarah's voice blasting through, sharp and demanding. No hello, no how are you. Hey, old man, better fire up the hot tub. We're coming. She sounds excited, but it's the kind of excitement that steamrolls over everything in its path. 12 people total. Stock the fridge with craft beer. Organic snacks for the kids. Make it epic family time. Your hand tightens around the phone, the cool metal suddenly feeling heavy. Decades in the operating room flash before you, lives saved under bright lights. Steady hands making incisions that meant the difference between life and death, all while you scrimped and saved, delaying your own dreams to build a future, including for Sarah, who you stepped up for when her world fell apart. The cabin isn't even fully settled yet. Moving boxes line the walls. The kitchen counter's still cluttered with unpacked dishes. Sarah, I literally just closed on this place last week. It's not guest ready at all. Her response is dismissive, like your concerns are just background noise. Doesn't matter. You've got that big retirement payout now, right? Plenty of space for everyone. Family comes first, remember? The pine-scented breeze drifts in through the open French doors, carrying the faint sound of bird song and rustling leaves. But her words turn it sour, like a storm cloud rolling in. You grip the quartz kitchen island, your knuckles turning white against the smooth stone, feeling that familiar tension build in your chest, one you've ignored for years. But it's my first real days here. No extra bedding, limited groceries. I haven't even stocked up properly. Handle it. You're retired now. Plenty of time on your hands. Road noise roars in the background. Tires humming on the highway. Voices chattering excitedly. The kids are so hyped about Grandpa's luxury cabin. Don't let them down, okay? Grandpa, not Dad, the man who raised her, who was there for every school event, every heartbreak. Just Grandpa, the distant figure with deep pockets and a fancy new place. The call clicks off abruptly, leaving you standing there in the sunlit great room, staring at your untouched glass of scotch on the counter, the amber liquid catching the light. 45 minutes until the convoy arrives, until your peace is shattered. Memories surge up like a flood, unbidden but insistent. You sink into one of the leather armchairs by the window, the view of the peaks blurring as your mind drifts back. Funding her med school when the loans didn't cover it all. $120,000 wired over 4 years. Watching your retirement timeline push back with each transfer. Covering their lavish wedding because Mike's family couldn't contribute. Another $50,000 for the venue. The flowers, the honeymoon they insisted on. Bailing out Mike's sure thing startup not once, but 3 times, $150,000 total. Each time with promises of repayment that faded like morning mist. Over $480,000 in help across 15 years, tuition, down payments on their house when credit was shot, medical bills when the kids got sick, even family vacations you bankrolled because the kids need memories. Always just this once, always escalating. Wrapped in that guise of family obligation. You remember the late nights calculating budgets, sacrificing your own trips and luxuries to keep them afloat. Sarah's mother would have wanted you to help, you told yourself, honoring her memory by being the rock for her daughter. But now, with the cabin finally yours, the demands feel different, heavier, more presumptuous. You walk to the master suite, your private haven, a king bed positioned, perfectly to face the peeks through another set of massive windows, an in-suite steam shower with slate tiles that feel luxurious underfoot, and a private deck for stargazing, where the Milky Way sprawls out like a river of light on clear nights. This is the room you've dreamed of for decades, the place to finally unwind without alarms or emergencies. But from Sarah's tone, you know she'll claim it for the views and content, her yoga videos, her social media posts, turning your sanctuary into a backdrop for her life outside. The faint growl of engines echoes up the private gravel road. Growing louder, dust clouds rising in the distance. For SUVs, loaded to the brim, snaking their way toward your ridge. Your 45 minutes of solitude evaporate faster than dew in the sun. Through the window, you watch them approach like an invading army, tires crunching over stones, horns honking in what they probably think is playful excitement. The doors slam in quick succession, echoes bouncing off the log walls like gunfire. You move to the front door, peering through the sidelights as the vehicles disgorge their passengers onto your circular driveway. Sarah's black SUV leads the pack, followed by two sedans and a pickup truck piled high with coolers. Beach chairs. Wait, beach chairs in the mountains? And enough luggage for a month-long expedition. 12 people, she said, but it looks like more. Kids darting around, adults laughing, already treating the place like their own. Sarah emerges first, sunglasses perched on her head despite the dappled shade. Her phone out and recording before her feet hit the ground. Oh my God, everyone, look at this view. Dad, this is incredible. She pushes through the door without knocking, wrapping you in a perfunctory hug that feels more like a claim than affection. Kids, go explore. The loft is yours. Mike follows, clapping you on the back a bit too hard. Hot tub out back, right? We're taking the master. Best panorama for Sarah's morning yoga shoots. The light will be perfect for her content. Strangers, friends from her yoga class, people you've never met, streaming behind them, dropping bags in the entryway, kicking off shoes that track in gravel and dirt onto your pristine floors. One woman heads straight for the kitchen, opening cabinets like she owns the place. Where's the wine glasses? We brought some bottles to celebrate. The chaos builds in seconds. Music blasting from someone's portable speaker. Kids racing up the stairs to the loft, laughing and shouting. Coolers dragged across the floor, leaving scratches you can already see. This place is insane, one of Mike's buddies yells, cracking open a beer from his own stash, but eyeing your fridge. Doc, you hit the jackpot here. You try to speak, your voice lost in the din. Everyone, please, this isn't a good time. I wasn't expecting. Sarah waves you off, still filming. Dad, relax. We're family. This is what cabins are for, making memories. She turns to her friends. Guys, check out the deck. The lake view is to die for. Your blood pressure rises, that surgeon's calm cracking under the pressure. This isn't a visit. It's an occupation. Your dream home, your reward, being claimed piece by piece. You step into the hallway, blocking access to the bedrooms. No, everyone needs to leave. Now. Mike laughs, a sharp, dismissive bark. Come on, old man. Blood's thicker than water. We're here now. Let's make the best of it. But you don't move, your stance firm for the first time in years. Threats start bubbling up, subtle at first, then sharper. You'll regret this, Dad. The kids will be heartbroken. You retreat to the den. The door solid behind you as you lock it with a click that echoes your resolve. Your hand shakes slightly as you dial the county sheriff. The operator's voice a lifeline in the storm. I need assistance. Uninvited guests refusing to leave my property. Outside, the noise continues, oblivious to the line you've just drawn. But inside, a quiet determination builds. This is your mountain, your peace, and you're about to fight for it. The den door shuts. Behind you with a heavy thud, the solid oak muffling the growing chaos outside, laughter turning louder, music thumping through the walls, kids' footsteps pounding overhead like a stampede in the loft. You lean against the desk for a moment, the polished wood cool under your palms, staring out the window at the unchanging beauty of the Rockies. Peaks dusted with early snow, pines swaying gently. That lake far below catching the afternoon light like a mirror. It's all still there, untouched, waiting for the quiet you deserve. But inside this room, your study, lined with bookshelves holding medical journals, fishing guides, and a few cherished photos, something shifts. That surgeon's precision kicks in. The same steady focus that guided your hands through countless emergencies. Your fingers dial the county sheriff's non-emergency line. Voice calm but firm as you explain, uninvited guests. Refusal to leave, trespass on private property. The dispatcher is professional, reassuring. Units are en route, sir. ETA about 20 minutes given the road conditions up the ridge. 20 minutes. Enough time for the reality to sink in deeper. For the anger you've buried for years to rise like bile. You stay on the line as instructed, pacing the room slowly. The creak of the floorboards the only sound in here. Through the door, muffled voices argue now. Sarah's tone sharpening. Mike barking orders to just act normal. They thought you'd fold, like always. But not this time. Not in your mountain. Outside the window, the convoy sits in disarray on the gravel driveway. Doors flung open. Coolers half unloaded. Bags strewn like debris from a storm. Kids chase each other around the SUVs. Oblivious, while adults cluster in groups. Phones out, probably already planning how to spin this. Sarah stands in the middle, arms crossed, staring at the front door like she can will you to open it and apologize. Pounding starts on the den door, fists at first, then palms slapping wood. Dad, open up. This is ridiculous. Sarah's voice cracks with that mix of frustration and fake hurt she's mastered over the years. We're family. You can't just lock us out like criminals. Mike joins in, his deeper tone booming. Come on, Doc, be reasonable. We drove all this way. The kids are excited. Excited to turn your haven into a frat house, more like. One of the yoga friends chimes in, her voice syrupy. We're not hurting anything. Just let us stay. We brought food and everything. You don't respond. Just watch the clock on the wall tick slower than it ever has. Memories keep flashing. The night Sarah graduated med school. You wiring the last tuition payment at 2 a.m. after a double shift. Her thank you text a simple heart emoji. The wedding where you walked her down the aisle since. Her bio dad bailed years ago. Footing the bill while Mike's family contributed nothing but opinions. The calls in the middle of the night. Dad. The business is sinking again. Just a bridge loan. Each one pushing your retirement further out. Shrinking the dream of this exact cabin. $480,000 gone. Not in bursts, but in a slow bleed. Always justified by family. The pounding stops, replaced by whispers filtering through the door. They're strategizing now, voices low but heated. He wouldn't really call the cops, would he? Someone asks. Sarah snaps back. He's bluffing. Grandpa's too soft. He'll cave like always. Grandpa. That word stings fresh every time, reducing you to a role, a resource. Mike laughs nervously. If he does, we'll just say it's a misunderstanding. Family dispute. No way they'll side with him. But you know better. The deed is in your name alone. Bought outright with cash from years of careful investing. No shared ownership. No invitations extended. This is trespass, plain and simple. You glance at the framed photo on the desk, Sarah's mother, smiling softly on your wedding day. Her eyes warm with the kind of love that didn't demand repayment. She would have hated this, hated how her daughter twisted obligation into entitlement. Be there for her, she'd said on her deathbed. But being there didn't mean being trampled. Sirens faint at first, then growing louder, echoing up the valley like a wake-up call. Gravel crunches under tires as two sheriff's SUVs pull into the driveway, lights flashing red and blue against the log walls, casting eerie shadows across the pines. The group outside freezes, faces turning pale as the deputies step out, boots firm on the ground, hands resting casually near belts. One older deputy with a Salt and pepper mustache approaches the door while the younger covers from the side. You unlock the den. Step out into the great room where the chaos has gone deadly quiet. Music off. Kids huddled behind parents. Bags half-packed in sudden regret. The stone fireplace stands cold and silent. A witness to the shift, Sarah rushes forward. Tears already forming, performance mode engaged. Officers, thank God. My dad, he's having some kind of episode. We just came for a family visit, and he locked himself away and called you. Mike nods vigorously. It's a misunderstanding. He's stressed from the move. The older deputy, name tag reads Ramirez, holds up a hand. Calm but authoritative. Sir, he addresses you directly. You're the property owner? You nod, handing over the deed and your ID without a word. He reviews it quickly, then scans the room, scattered belongings. Open coolers, footprints on the floors. You requested assistance for trespass? Yes, you say, voice steady, louder than it's been all day. They arrived uninvited, demanded to stay for weeks. Refused to leave when asked multiple times. Ramirez turns to Sarah. Ma'am, do you have any documentation showing permission to be here? An invitation, text, anything? She stammers, cheeks flushing. We're family. He didn't need to invite us. We just assumed. Assumption isn't permission. The younger deputy cuts in. Private property rights are clear. Owner wants you gone, you go. The group erupts in protests. This is crazy. The kids. He's abandoning family. But the deputies stand firm, giving them 15 minutes to pack and leave or face charges. The reversal is swift. Coolers slammed shut, bags grabbed hastily. Kids whining as they're herded back to the vehicles. Sarah shoots you a look of pure betrayal as she passes, whispering harshly, "You'll regret this. Everyone will hear about how you treated us." Mike mutters threats under his breath about lawyers and social media. But you stand there in the doorway, watching them load up. The driveway turning to chaos again, but in reverse. Doors slamming angrily. Engines revving. Dust clouds rise as the convoy pulls away. Taillights disappearing down the gravel road, leaving only tire tracks and silence behind. The deputies linger a moment, Ramirez handing you an incident report number. If they come back without permission, call us direct. You've got rights here. You thank them, the weight lifting as their SUVs follow the others down the ridge. You close the door, lean against it, and for the first time in hours, maybe years, breathe deep. The cabin smells of pine again, not beer and entitlement. Sunlight slants through the windows, warming the great room. The fireplace waiting for your first solo fire tonight. But as the peace settles, your phone starts buzzing relentlessly. Texts from Sarah, calls from unknown numbers, notifications piling up. The next battle is coming, the one online, where they'll twist the story to make you the villain. But you're ready. Those meticulous records, every transfer, every loan documented, they're about to become weapons. This mountain isn't done teaching lessons yet. And trust me, the revenge that's coming, it's going to be colder than a Rocky Mountain winter and twice as satisfying. Stay tuned. This story's just heating up. The sun dips low behind the jagged peaks, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple that reflect off the alpine lake far below, turning the whole valley into a postcard come alive. You stand in the great room for a long moment after the door clicks shut, the silence rushing in like a bomb after the storm. No more voices echoing off the log walls. No kids thundering in the loft. No music thumping or coolers scraping across your floors. Just the faint crackle as you kneel by the massive stone fireplace, stacking kindling and logs with hands. That no precision from years in the ore. The first flames catch, dancing golden light across the room, warming the air with that rich, smoky scent of burning pine that you've dreamed about for so long. You Pour that scotch finally. The amber liquid swirling in the crystal glass as you sink into the leather armchair by the window, the one positioned perfectly to frame the view. Outside, the aspens shiver in the evening breeze, their leaves catching the last light like flecks of gold. Elk bugle faintly in the distance, a wild, haunting sound that reminds you how far you are from the city, from hospitals, from demands. The fire pops and hisses, casting flickering shadows on the hand-hewn beams overhead. For the first time in what feels like forever, the cabin is truly yours. No boxes feel out of place anymore. Everything's settling into that hard-earned peace. But then your phone vibrates on the side table. Once, twice, a relentless buzz that pulls you back. You glance at the screen, and the notifications flood in like an avalanche. Texts from Sarah, missed calls from Mike, pings from social media apps you barely use. Your stomach tightens as you swipe open. Sarah's already posted a photo of her in the SUV, eyes red and puffy, real tears or not. Hard to tell. Captioned, heartbroken. My own dad called the police on us for wanting family time at his new mansion. After everything we've been through. Prayers needed. Comments pouring in already. That's awful. How could he? Per kids. Mike's follow-up. A video clip from inside one of the vehicles. Kids looking confused in the back seat. His voice narrating. Drove hours to surprise Grandpaa in his luxury cabin. Got treated like criminals. Money changes people. Shares climbing fast. Mutual friends liking and commenting with shock emojis. Some tagging you directly. Is this true? Call me, what's going on? You set the phone face down, but it keeps buzzing. The vibration rattling against the wood like an insistent intruder. The fire's warmth feels distant now as that old. Tension creeps back into your shoulders. One from years of giving, always giving, and getting demands in return. You pick it up again, scrolling through the growing storm. Sarah's yoga friends piling on. Entitled much? We just wanted a getaway. One even posts a story with sad music overlay. Evicted from family paradise. Lesson learned. Blood isn't always thicker. The manipulation hits hard. They're painting you as the cold, rich retiree who abandoned his grieving stepdaughter and grandkids, conveniently leaving out the uninvited arrival, the refusal to leave, the sheriff's involvement confirming your rights. Appeals to your late wife's memory start trickling in. She'd be so disappointed. That one stings deepest. Twisting the knife, you stand and walk to the window, pressing your forehead against the cool glass. Watching dusk deepen over the ridge. Stars begin pricking through the darkening sky, the Milky Way already hinting at its glory. This view, your view, feels fragile suddenly, threatened by the digital mob forming miles away. Texts from old colleagues now. Saw the posts, hope you're okay? But laced with doubt, that subtle judgment. Sarah's narrative is spreading fast, viral in small circles, but growing, turning you into the villain before you can even process the day. You mute the notifications, but the damage is done. Sleep comes fitful that night. The king bed in the master's suite too big and empty. Dreams mixing or lights with flashing deputy sirens and Sarah's accusing face. Morning light filters through the pines, birdsong waking you early. The lake below a sheet of glass reflecting the peaks. Coffee on the deck, steam rising in the crisp air. Elk grazing in the meadow, beauty unchanged. But the phone waits inside, charged and loaded with overnight escalation. Shares in the hundreds now. Local Facebook groups picking it up as rich retiree versus family. Drama. You sit at the desk in the study, sunlight slanting across the leather blotter, and open the file drawer, the one labeled financial records in your precise handwriting. Years of surgeon's discipline. Every transfer documented. Statements printed and filed. A habit from tax seasons and estate planning. Wire transfers to Sarah's accounts. Checks for Mike's ventures. Venmo notes like wedding help, love, dad. Totals staring back. $482,000 across 15 years. Each one a slice of your retirement carved away. That's when the plan crystallizes, calm and methodical, like prepping for a complex procedure. No angry responses online. That's their battlefield. You'll fight with facts, evidence, the kind that holds up in court. You call your estate attorney, the one who's handled your affairs since your wife's passing. Voice steady as you explain the invasion. The smear campaign, the documented support. We have options, he says. Constructive trust for the funds, defamation for the posts. Your records are gold. Days blur into preparation, scanning documents, building timelines, gathering screenshots of their contradictory posts. Sarah complaining about money struggles years ago, while posting vacation pics you funded. Mike crowing about hustle payoffs that were actually your bailouts. The cabin becomes your command center. Fire crackling late into nights as you work. The peaks outside a constant reminder of what's at stake. Then the filing, lawsuit for repayment and damages, served officially. Your own post goes up, not emotional, just factual, with redacted transfers, showing the scale of support, omitted from their story. The tide starts turning, comments shifting to wait. He gave them how much? Mutual friends' private messaging apologies. Doubt creeping into Sarah's echo chamber. But the real catharsis? It's building. Their panic calls start coming, the settlement offers, the retractions forced by evidence. And when it all lands, that mountaintop justice is going to feel like the clearest sunrise you've ever seen. That we're getting close to the payoff now, the part where years of being undervalued flip into sweet, undeniable accountability. If you're feeling that fire for justice already, smash the like, subscribe so you don't miss the climax, and comment, what's the most entitled thing a family member ever pulled on you? Let's keep building toward that epic revenge. The weeks that follow feel like a slow, deliberate surgery, every move calculated, every document precise, no room for error. You spend long evenings in the study, the fire crackling low as snow starts to dust the peaks outside, turning the landscape into a monochrome wonderland. Papers spread across the desk, bank statements highlighted in yellow, timelines charted by hand, screenshots of Sarah's old posts, where she'd been about struggling financially, right beside photos of cruises and designer bags, trips and purchases. Your transfers made possible. The attorney works fast, filing the suit for constructive trust on the funds, claiming they were advanced under promises of repayment, and adding defamation. Counts for the viral lies that painted you as heartless. Service happens. Midweek, a process server catching Mike at work, Sarah at home. Your phone lights up immediately, panicked voicemails from both. Texts pleading for talks as family. You forward them straight to the attorney. No direct contact now. Then you post your response online, calm and factual. A thread with redacted proofs of the $482,000 in support. The incident report from the sheriff. A simple statement. Generosity has limits. Boundaries were crossed. Lies were spread. Seeking accountability through proper channels. No rage, no drama, just evidence. The shift is seismic. Comments flip overnight. Old friends horrified at the amounts you gave, questioning why Sarah never mentioned it. Her yoga circle goes quiet, some even deleting their pile-ons. Mutual acquaintances message privately. I had no idea. You were so generous. The viral outrage deflates like a punctured balloon, replaced by whispers of wait. He funded their whole lifestyle. Sarah tries damage, control, a tearful live video about misunderstandings and healing, but the comments tear it apart. Where's the thank you for 500,000? Mike's posts vanish one by one. Their lawyer reaches out quickly, floating settlement numbers that climb. With each passing day as discovery looms, your record's airtight. There's non-existent. Court day arrives crisp and cold, fresh powder blanketing the pines as you drive down the ridge one last time for this. The courtroom is small, mountain town justice straightforward. Sarah and Mike sit across the aisle, her looking smaller than you remember, him avoiding eye contact. Their attorney shuffling papers that can't match your binder-thick evidence. The judge reviews it all, transfers, promises and emails. We'll pay you back when the business takes off. Their contradictory social media history. This pattern is clear, she says. Exploitation under guise of family, followed by defamation to punish boundary setting. Settlement is accepted on the spot. $280,000 repaid over 5 years with interest. Full public retractions on every platform where they posted lies. And a permanent no-contact order unless through lawyers. Sarah signs with shaking hands. Tears real this time, not performative, but the sting of consequences finally landing. Mike mutters something about moving on, but his voice lacks the old bluster. You drive back up the gravel road as flakes start to fall. The cabin's warm lights glowing through the trees like a beacon. That evening, you build a roaring fire. Pour a celebratory scotch and step onto the deck. Snow whispers down, blanketing everything in quiet white. The peaks standing sentinel under a sky thick with stars. Elk move through the meadow below, silhouettes grazing peacefully. Near the frozen lake's edge, the next morning, dawn's clear and golden, sunlight spilling over fresh powder as you brew coffee on the deck. Steam rising against the endless blue, your phone stays silent, no demands. No drama. Real friends call now, planning visits with actual invitations discussed in advance. The cabin feels lighter, truly yours. Every creak of the floor's a reminder that boundaries aren't selfish there. What make generosity sustainable? You did what so many dream of, stood firm against entitlement. Let evidence do the talking, and reclaimed your peace without becoming bitter. Justice on this mountaintop isn't loud. It's the quiet of a fire crackling, snow falling soft, and knowing you finally put yourself first without apology. And that's the kind of revenge that lasts. Cold, clear, and completely earned. What a ride, right? That moment when the tables turned and accountability finally showed up, pure satisfaction. If this story had you fist pumping or nodding along, smash that like button. Drop a comment with your own entitled family tales or what you do in this situation. And subscribe with notifications on because we've got more real-life justice stories coming that hit just as hard. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay strong and protect your peace.